on another section of roof. Got the crane holding out our platform with a little umbrella for Kathy to keep the sun off her. She goes from a white human being to a red lobster in short order. So anyway, taking apart the slate off this side. There was a lot of slate hooks over here, which is good. I like slate hooks. That's to me the most viable repair without taking off all the slate above it to put one slate in. And so we're gonna do this side, but we're also, because there's a valley there, we need to do this side too along the chimney. And we're also, let's see, I gotta get the bucket truck over this direction because I'm up here in the bucket truck. So I gotta figure out how to flash it and everything properly, and so it's gonna be a learning curve to do all this and get it done properly. I'm sure some of these shingles are going to have to come off of the turret. Someday I'd like to redo it in slate. If you look way over there, my neighbor's roof, they still have slate on the turret, and I'd like to put slate back on this turret. The shingles, while this architectural slate copy type of shingle looks okay, it's not really what I want for the house. And we could do a nice design with slate with clipped corners or fish scale, different colors. It'll be real nice. Looking forward to that. It's gonna be a a lot of work, but you know, this is I guess where we're permanently gonna be, and I can take my time with it and get it done. So anyway, here we go, back to pulling off more slate. We got a bunch of slate that's all glued together down here, and I guess this was a leak area before. It's all like stuck. Probably this seems like it might be a good piece. Depends where it's going to go. A lot of the pieces on this side they're good heavy pieces, solid pieces. Some of them were a little thin and seemed a little seemed like they might be a little have cracks in them or separating at the seam or something. At some point somebody put this aluminum flashing here because the old metal flashing rusted through. But we're down to the starter course here. But when we put it back, it's going to get copper. And that will, then we shouldn't have to worry about any rust or perforation, you know, that type of stuff. Okay. There'll probably be some wood repair on this. Well, I think we're going to take a little break for a minute, find some lunch. Yeah, it's not even that wide. You can see it went up. Water was going right underneath that. But, you know, I think Most of the original problem with this side was that the tree was coming up and over the house, so it never dried out. It just stayed wet all the time. Yeah, this is some of the work that was done before. Yeah, we'll just put a glob of tar on there and that'll be good. Long enough for the check to clear. Yeah, that's not happy. I mean, that's not longevity there, you know. It's just quick and easy, let's get out of here and collect some money. But no, when we do it, we're gonna put copper going all the way up. We're gonna have a little bit of flashing come down to cover up the nails, so this way we don't have to think about trying to seal it with tar or silicone or something, you know, because it'll have the materials there to direct the water away. So yeah, we're taking down this this section here, which is the west side. Here's the turret over here. But yeah, all right, let the fun continue. Ooh, these are hot, hot, hot. They've been baking in the sun. I only had one nail holding it. Yo! Well, that's okay. Summer, supposed to be hot. Whoops. Gotta tell you, having the bucket truck, I mean, what more convenient way to do slate is there than this? See, this pry bar is a little too narrow. I don't know if I can turn the camera that way. I think that's pointed where we want. But this pry bar is a little too narrow. If I push down on it, it's gonna want to crack the slate from a pressure point. But I get the bigger, wide one, and I can pry up on the pry bar, pry out the nail. Spreading out that surface keeps it from putting a pressure point on the slate and breaking the slate, because we're trying to save all the slate that we can, if I can say the word slate. beautiful. Right in the middle. Gotta love it. Actually, that was sarcasm. It's not beautiful. Get down to some full size. It might be full size. You got to be careful where you push on the slate. If you can stack it up, the slate's got very good compression, but it does not have tension. So the nail goes right in over here. So if you trying to pry out the nail and you're pushing down right between this ledge and the nail, it might crack the slate right here in this open area, because it's a little open area here. And so you want to have the pry bar long enough that you're pushing on this, or you're pushing on the top of the slate that's pushing on that, which is pushing on the roof. And then you can pry the nail out that way. But you have to have some type of support under it, or you got to be really graceful with it. Even picking up from the bottom, if the nail's in there really good, you'll get the nail head to pull right through the slate, which is not it doesn't render the slate useless, but it I suppose you could reuse that nail hole, being the slate hangs like a picture. Well, that nail wasn't very good, but a lot of times I would put a new nail hole next to it. Boy, this is hot on my knees. I don't know what the temperature is. You know what the temperature is? A high of 83, but cooking in the sun, oh my god, we could fry eggs on the roof right now. Yeah, this is a fun hobby. I don't know if I'd want to be a roofer for a profession, not at 47 years old. I don't think I'd want to start doing that now, but as a hobby and working on my own house, I actually enjoy this quite a bit. Saving money, and I'm pretty particular about the way things come out, and I get to do this myself. So if something doesn't go right, I only have myself to blame, and not be mad at anybody else. But so far so good. I mean, everything else has come out pretty good, and happy with it. Maybe 25 to 30 years ago might be a different story on being a roofer. And then, helping out friends, because, well, I got the equipment, the bucket truck, the crane, all this stuff just totally makes the job a lot easier than using ladders and ropes going up and over the house and carrying slate up and down. We don't have to do that. We got it pretty easy with these lifting devices here. Makes it a lot easier. So, anyway, this is the format. Taking it off and and we're gonna tarp it off by the end of the day, and then get everything in order that we need to, so we can start putting things together. And well, I'll bring you back in at that time. Here we go again. More slate roof work. So we're getting out some of the stuff we need to get started. A couple weeks ago we took off a bunch of slate off of one side of the roof, and of course we save it. We haven't washed it yet or wrung it, but it's all stacked over, you know, all of this here and here and here, and all that came off the roof. And what we're focusing on now is we got to get some other pieces done before we can put up the ice and water shield. So we need to get that done, get the thing dried in, because we have some tarps up there now and they're just not holding. They got little areas of perforation that leak, which are we have to set out a bunch of trays in the attic to catch the water. Let me see if I can walk over this way and get a look at where we took it off. But the scaffolding got moved over and stuff. But yeah, up there, this side, which I think is the most complicated side, having the dormer part sticking out, that's no big deal. That's a valley. But the chimney, that's a new hurdle for me to learn, to figure out how to flash around it and get the ice and water shield, plus the turret roof, the turret roof, and the that main section of roof come together. And gonna have to figure out how to get that joined in without disturbing too much of the turret. But otherwise, so far, you could see in this gable area up here, we did run some copper flashing, got that in place, stripped all the paint off of that the trim area up there, and so that's actually ready to put paint on. Step by step, you know. I wish I could devote like a week straight or a month straight to doing this. We could get the whole thing done, but it takes a long time because we only do it on weekends. We only do it on weekends with good weather, and there's usually something else going on that causes us to put off the roof until, well, let's wait until the next weekend. So really, I'd say only a few days a month we get to work on this, but we're working on it today. The bucket truck, that's got some problems. It runs, that's not a problem with it running, but the problem is the cylinders for the boom will creep down. They need to be rebuilt, so that's probably going to be another video of taking cylinders off the truck, taking them apart, and resealing them so they'll hold, because it's a pretty big inconvenience, and it's unnerving, you know, trying to deal with that, trying to get close to the roof and constantly having to you know, compensate with the handle to keep the bucket truck from contacting the house, even the crane. So it's got 2 or 3 boom sections because it's 75 feet. Right now it's at 50 feet because I only have the lower boom and the inner boom. There's another one that's in the middle between those two, and that's not out. I haven't been using it because that cylinder has developed a leak at the end. I did buy the kits to yeah, look, an airplane. Anyway, I bought the reseal kits for these cylinders. You could still get them directly from Grove. I got them. At some point here we'll do the bucket truck cylinders first, and then I'll do the cylinders in this crane. They're big cylinders. They've got to be 25 feet long. So I'll need a crane to work on my crane. Luckily the bucket truck has a little crane boom on it that will work for pulling that cylinder. Here's the door to our attic. And this is what it looks like when you have too many irons in the fire. So here's some of the things to catch some drips. Another one, even more, buckets, and all over the place. So yeah, so we're trying to catch all these drips, but once you know, once we get this side of the roof sealed in, then this will be dry. It'll be done. You know, you can see that there have been leaks here for a long time. I mean, this is all really like just rotted wood. We're gonna have to do some wood repair around that before we seal it in. But yeah, you can see there's the tarp. You can see it from the inside. Even our sewer vent goes out the window. Did that a couple of years ago because the sewer vent went out through the back over here, but we replaced all that, and I didn't want to run the sewer vent. So right now it comes up through the middle of the floor here, runs along, and I have it kind of draped up and over because it forms condensation, and in the winter it actually develops a lot of water. So what the plan is with the sewer vent, which we almost started on this side of the roof, over here, because then I could do the sewer vent. So it's gonna run through the floor here. That piece of galvanized pipe is coming out, but we're gonna take up the floorboards all the way over, and then have that sewer vent come up into one of these areas here, and then come out through the roof. So it'll go through the floor and then all the way up, and so it'll be out of sight and not in the way, and it will it'll come out over here. That'll be an improvement for the area in here, because it was just a big piece of pipe coming up and through, and I didn't really like how it was set up. But okay, yeah, so I just wanted to show you all the little drips that we got to catch, and but that's gonna hopefully soon be a thing of the past. All right, so that's over there, and we'll load it up and then get going. Here we are, up on the roof, up on the scaffold anyway, not the roof. So we stripped paint off of here, scraped that. Didn't bother filming that. It's just kind of nothing of interest anyway to watch. But so now we got what we're working on here is this thing called a Cant Strip. Let's see if I can get in place. It's a board that it'll prop up the first layer of slate. So this way all the slate, since they all go in at an angle, they'll lay down properly on top of each other, and this is where that starts. So this goes on first, and if you look at like the profile view of it, you can see it's got a little 45 here that this piece of crown molding is going to butt into, and then a lot of times it could just be square, but I decided, you know what, I'll just angle it off here so the ice and water shield, which is actually going to go up and over this, will have a little bit of support and transition and not leave a gap underneath for it. So that's so I did cut that on the table saw. Yeah, so that's so I'm working on fitting this. I'm gonna cut an angle right here so this fits into here, and then the other side can butt into it. So so that's what I'm gonna do here, and then fasten it down, and then I can take this off, because the next thing we'll have to do is measure where the all the gutter hangers are gonna go, and they will and what I have to do is, the way the gutter I don't have a gutter hanger here with me, but it goes up behind this, so we're gonna route out a little channel for the gutter hanger to fit up in there. So okay, so Cant Strip, we've kind of got it mocked up into place. There's a low area here, right here, and then it was high over here, but we sanded, and actually this wood sands away pretty quick, so we you know, that screw there was sunk like that one, and we got down to the head of it with the sander pretty quick, where I actually had to drive the screw in a little more. But I think we're going to be pretty good. We just got to find some material to put behind here and bring out the long level to put across, and this way we don't have like a wavy type of appearance for where all the slate come down. Things take way more time than you might expect, but it's a nice day. It's a nice day, and you know, glad to be out here making progress, doing something. It'd kind of be cool to sit on the couch and watch some interesting program, but I think we're gonna make the program right now with a little bit of housework here. All right, so right now we got the Cant Strip in place, put this long level on it, and it's pretty darn good. Good enough anyway. So we're working on the gutter, we're trying to figure out where these gutter hangers are going to go. I know they're going to extend up in this way, which is why we're going to need to router a channel. So we're going to figure out not only how high are they going to go, but where they're going to go. And so the first place is going to be the corner, and what we want is a gutter hanger under the seam, because there's going to be solder. These get soldered together, so it'll cover up, the hanger will cover up that line of solder that you would see if you were looking up at the gutters. So now that we have the cant strip in place, and so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take out this piece of crown molding here, so we can get the gutter hangers in position, and then we'll be able to mark this to where it's going to be routed, and then get that put back in place.
Well, before you do,
Yeah.
should we mark it?
This wood's a little rotted, or a little soft. I wouldn't say it's really rotted. It's got some areas that are compromised from getting wet, but it's okay. It's coming. Okay, we got that crown molding taken off here, and there's a lot of like dirt that's up in between, you know, and so I spread out this this fascia board from the soffit, and because I don't want to like seal that with caulk when putting it back together, because if for any reason any water does get in there, it needs a place to migrate out, and you know, so I'm not going to caulk that seam in there underneath. But there's so much dirt that we're gotta bring the vacuum over here and just get it cleaned out, so this way when we hammer it back together, it'll go together flush. You know, funny thing, you know, up in here, once I got that fascia board off, I found this old bottle. It says well, it says Listerine on it. You might not be able to read that well, but I mean, look at the top on it. It's a old bottle. Lambert Pharmacal Company. That's it. I was laying in there. I guess it'll stay there. You know, so kind of neat. Neat to find stuff in the walls of an old house. Mock this up. We're going to put a couple of the hangers on it. Just attach them there. Actually, it's going to go on. Oh, probably about there. It might be a little too tight. Anyway, I'm gonna put this up over here. Oh, of course. Well, since this piece of trim's still in the way, I'm gonna have to take this one off and just kind of eyeball it to give it a little clearance, a little space out. Right about there is how the gutter is going to go, and make a mark here. So that wood is a little compromised. You know, so we're going to have to back it up with another piece of wood to so it'll hold that gutter secure. And it needs to go up higher as well. So yeah, so that was the lower hole in the hanger, and the upper hole isn't going to bolt to anything until we build up some extra height on the wood here. Well, now that we know where that one is, then we could go about every 2 feet to put another hanger. feet. And then another one at another 2 feet. Alright, so we got it marked out, but that one might vary a little bit depending on where that end cup is going to go. The end cup should go like all the way almost to where it's butting in to the clapboard on the turret. Back at it again today. It's a bright sun. It's good to have sunny weather. Okay, so all this along here is all prepped anyway. So I made these pieces of wood here, and they'll slide in. I just had the thing in there a second ago, and they're a pretty, not like really tight, but very close fit. So that'll slide in there, stand it upright, and we'll run some screws through here. And then we have this other piece that's going to go up on here, and luckily that wood was about the same thickness as this fascia board. So now where that oh, I don't have one within arm's reach here, but the gutter hanger will screw in through here, which will, this is a little soft, this wood right here, but that's okay because the screw will go all the way through into that other piece behind it, and the top screw will go in here. So that should give good strong support for the gutter hangers. And where we made the marks, I'm probably going to alter that. Instead of exactly every 2 feet, we're going to find out where the end piece is, which has got my apple sitting in it. Save that for a little later. But so that end piece will also have a solder line that we're going to want to put the gutter hanger to cover up the solder line. And then once we find out, we'll just divide up, and it'll only be like I don't know, an inch or two off of what we already measured. So yeah, that's where we're at. Gonna put some of these things in, and then keep moving. Probably going to be a lot of holes to fill on this, but I think it would be good to have some screws down low as well. because if anything, the gutter is going to want to pull it out, so these aren't going to, they'll keep it from falling in, but they're not going to keep that from tilting out. So a few on the bottom should be sufficient. And on this, this drill, it's got a little like countersink on it for the head of the screw. This wood's kind of soft, so it probably really doesn't even need that countersink. Started to drill right where about that upper screw is going to go, but I don't want to put a screw in there. Because it might block up where I need to put a screw for the hanger. I tend to overdo things, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple long screws and go diagonal up each side here, just to attach to the rafters for the roof. That'll just tie everything together just a little tighter. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so I got these blocks into the areas that I know where a hanger is going to go. Over here, over here, over there. And of course, there's going to be something here. I have a mark, but there's joist right in front of it. So I don't know. Well, yeah, I'll still have to, actually I'll have to go make some more of these blocks. But then on the very end here, it's going to be so close to the end with that cup. I mean, that cup is going to butt all the way out here, so that hanger is going to be, I mean, that cup is going to just about butt into the clapboard. So that hanger is going to be right at this very edge, so it'll probably just screw right into the house, or I should say from the fascia into these plank boards. So I don't know if I need any reinforcement back there. Maybe I'll try to make some type of wedge just to go here, put a couple screws in it to kind of make it a little firmer like a block, I guess. But yeah, all right, well, yeah, I guess I'm gonna go make another one of these blocks. Then I can solder the end piece on a section of gutter and get that done. So, okay, one step at a time. I wish I were a little more proficient at getting this done. It's a lot of work, a lot of little odds and ends like this that take up time, but if I were just to throw the gutter hangers up here with no reinforcement behind them where they didn't go into something solid, it might look good for a while, but then chances are they're gonna get loaded up with water or ice or something and fall off the house, and then it's gonna be a repair. There's not enough time to do things once. So there's definitely not enough time to do things twice. So it takes a while. But I guess step by step, next step is have an apple. I love fruit. It's nature's dessert, nature's candy. Trying to quit desserts, cookies, cake, pie, and ice cream, and I've had very, very little since January, and we're into September now. I don't know what it is. I hear people that say, "Oh yeah, I cut out soda. Now I'm up first thing in the morning, have tons of energy, run around, get everything done. I'm out working people half my age, blah blah blah." I don't get it. I don't feel any better. I quit all that stuff. I don't think I look any different, although my old jeans fit a little better, so I guess there's some improvement, but I don't feel any better. I don't have any more energy. Just got to keep trudging through. Anyway, I like an apple. Okay, so I got these blocks in all the way up to the end. The Cant Strip is in, which is that thing under the level, and blocks over here as well. And I started to put the gutter hangers in. So I had the that piece of gutter there, that 90-degree inside angle, and got it mocked up over here. And trying to get it level, I hung this in between the two and I put the level on it, and it comes out pretty darn good. So now we need to make our way a little bit further with more gutter, and there's going to be a little incline to it as it goes this way, and also as it goes this way. It's not going to be much, but it'll be a little something, just enough, because the drain, to tell you the truth, I'm not even sure where the drain is going to go, whether it's going to come out over here or it's going to come out over here. I'll have to go look at the other side over there and see what that looks like, if it to where I have it coming out. Well, I'll go take a look. Okay, so here's the opposite side of that dormer, and so it looks like it's towards the house, not on this dormer part that sticks out. Okay, well, I guess that's gonna tell me where I'm gonna put it. Okay, back over here, You know, I got a couple options. Either I can have it over here by this 90. You know, I kind of wanted to go it down along this corner of the house, but I have another option as well, which is this other side. And the only problem is there is a faucet down there for a garden hose. I suppose I could probably move that. It's easy enough to move. I don't know. I got plenty of time to figure that out. So now I'm just gonna work on some gutter and keep moving along. A little further along. All right, so before I put any more gutter hangers, you know, I got this one here. I'm gonna leave this one here, but the other one I had to take back off because I want to paint this. I want to prime this. It's just gonna make everything easier if there's primer in place. You know, instead of cutting around it and leaving bare wood underneath of the gutter hangers, I'd rather just prime it first, which won't take that long, and then put the gutter hangers up. So went down in the basement, got some primer and a little throwaway brush, and we're gonna put some paint on it. Last night we got all the gutter hangers in place, and we did decide that we're gonna run the downspout over here, because actually this part of the house is out of level and it drops a little bit towards that way. So instead of making such a intersecting angle with the face of the house, we'll just keep the gutter parallel with the roof, and it'll have fall in the direction that we need it to have fall. So we did the gutter hangers over here. I just took those out. What we're going to do is just paint this area here, and then put the gutter hangers back on, and it'll then be ready. Start putting the trim and stuff back once that's painted, and then we could keep going with the roof. Okay, one more step along here. So I had all these holes from putting screws in, and nail holes that are not going to be used anymore, and so they're all filled now. So that'll dry pretty quick, and I'll run the sander over it and do another quick coat of primer, and then throw some paint on there, and that should be good. Oh look, darn, I missed that. Let's see if he comes out from behind the tree. The bald eagle just flew past. Huh. All right. Well, anyway, yeah, moving along. And so we have some other, the crown molding. Those are all stripped and primed, and they are they're down on the ground there, behind the house. It was just easier to do the work down there instead of up here. We'll get this section done, and then we'll be moving on to the next thing. And what I'm realizing here with this copper is we're gonna have to lift it up because the ice and water shield should go underneath it. And then we'll put the copper back down, and we should get to that today, and then start putting on ice and water shield and making our way up. Looking forward to that. These tarps are just, they're not totally waterproof. In fact, we're gonna lay another tarp on top of these, tape it in place. There's some perforation and stuff that we just, even though we thought we found it and put zip tape on it, there's more areas. So we're gonna put another tarp on top of these tarps. Yuck. Oh well, only temporary. Trim boards are painted, or the fascia board, and I put these gutter. I don't know why I have such a problem with gutter hangers, but they're gutter hangers. So put the gutter hangers on back in place, and so we have the crown molding now. That's all primed. I'm ready to put up there. We have the little slots in the back routed out, and it's primed in there too. I decided, you know, in this corner area, and this board's kind of soft. It's got its fair share of water over the year, or over the life of the house anyway. So we're gonna put this in and get it fastened in place, and then put a coat of paint on it. Now we just need some nails. Now that that's nailed in place, just going to put some paint on it. Okay, well, that's how it's going to look. All right, getting closer. Now to put the hangers back on here, and put that crown molding on as well. The trim piece here, the crown molding, and we're gonna get that put in. All right, lower that down. All right, that goes in over there. Just bend it a little bit so it'll. Look like they're all lined up. Okay. Yeah, that's looking pretty good, I think. Yeah, even the one on the end. Time for some nails.
Henry can't wait for kindergarten to begin. But he has a little case of the first day jitters. What will he do to calm his nerves? Find out.
so I had a friend stop by. He helped me put down this black Vicor Plus that went over the Cant Strip, and then it comes down right to here onto the crown molding. And so this is the underneath here is a Cant Strip. I don't know if I talked about that before, but what it does is it jacks up that first slate so everything stays flat, you know, at an angle. And so we just put on this piece of drip edge. Came out pretty good. Goes up under there, and this Vicor also goes up and just rolls right up against the wall here. So any water that tends to migrate in is just gonna run around and make its way out. Matter of fact, I might put a piece of tape right here on that. It really doesn't, I highly doubt it's gonna need it, because I mean, even the Vicor is probably overkill itself. But yeah, if it gets under the Vicor, it'll just run along, and then out and behind this. But I think it's almost impossible for water to get behind there. So, anyway, yeah, and then also on the copper, I rolled up the edge, and so that anything will just drip right out of there and off the drip edge. So we're getting closer. It's exciting when, you know, we're not taking things apart. Now we're going together with it. And so far it's looking pretty good.